Guys, welcome to a not fun episode of A Cow's Opinion. This is not an episode I want to make, but something big is happening in the game world, and it is possibly the end of Unity as we know it. I'm not trying to over-exaggerate. A lot of people may not use this anymore. This has been published and updated since yesterday by Alyssa Mercantile. It's a very good piece on Kotaku. I want to make sure I give them credit. 161 comments. The reason why I didn't react to this yesterday is because it was so confusing, it was so bad, that I thought I need to give it some time to get update. Unity has responded multiple times. They're still not giving people information that they want, so we're going to go ahead and cover what we know. Guys, yesterday, Unity, a game engine developer that a lot of big and small publishers use, has announced a new fee for game installs, and not to be trusted is the tagline that we're going to see throughout the article. So, as Kotaku notes, they're used on things like Rust, Hollow Knight, Pokemon Go. That's like a very small. Unity is used by a lot of people. It's praised for how easy it is to use, how great it is to use. But they've decided to initiate a new controversial fee where they will make you pay for every gamer that installs your game. Now, indie developers are not happy because any additional fee on a small or even a one-man team can kill profitability on their games. And Unity has attempted to clarify, you can't see the air quotes I'm doing, multiple times, and no, it's not working. It's stupid. We're going to go through this, you will be amazed. So they're calling it the runtime fee, announced in their September 12th Unity blog. It says that now the number of installations a game built with the Unity engine receives, it will determine both if you pay as well as how much you pay. Now, it's effective January 1st of next year. But the runtime fee applies to any game previous. So it doesn't matter what deal you had, they're retroactively applying this. If you have Unity Personal or Unity Plus plans, when you have $200,000 of revenue in 1 year and 200,000 lifetime installs, you will start to incur the fee. Unity Pro and Enterprise accounts will have to reach $1 million in revenue and 1 million lifetime installs. Doesn't sound like a lot. But here's the thing. If you're an indie dev and you blow up, you now owe the fee. 200,000 on a hit game is not hard to reach at all. 200,000, the revenue charges are just there for like if you make a free-to-play game, I guess. But yeah, revenue is, if you have 1 million lifetime installs or 200, you're going to hit that revenue easily. So Unity Personal and Unity Plus devs have to pay 20 cents for every game installed past their subscription-specific threshold. Pro devs need to fork over 2 to 15 cents, depending on a chart. We're not going to look at the chart because I'm expecting it to change because it's stupid. And enterprise devs range from 1 penny to 12.5 cents. They're saying they're going to take into account if you're in an emerging market. And it was met with widespread confusion as devs of free-to-play games scrambled to figure out if they'd end up owing hundreds of thousands of dollars, as well as charity bundle creators are concerned about being punished for supporting a good cause. Because remember, if you get a charity bundle, you can get like 10, 15, 20, 50 games for $10 or less. But you can't do that if you're going to get charged. So this is a really great reaction, so I want to go over it, and it was so great that Kotaku was kind enough to put it into their article. It says, Unity will soon charge devs per install past a specific threshold, all the stuff that we've gone to. I'd like to express my concerns regarding privacy, tracking installs and downloads, preservation, and changing the whole business model why devs are using the engine for their products. Michael J. Forney, I'm not sure who he is, but he had the best thing. Make a game. Game is freemium. Game makes $200,000 from in-app purchases after being installed 3 million times. Now owe Unity 20 cents per 2.8 million installs, which is $560,000, which is $360 more than we made. Yeah, that's a problem. Day9 had it best. He had a video. Go watch Day9's video on this entire thing because it was amazing. Talk about how, at first, what Unity was doing was okay before all this because they were using tools and programs to help developers get more downloads and make more money. So the Unity made more money and the dev made more money, and your things were aligned. But now Unity is punishing you based on how many installs you have. And we'll go over more of what Day 9 said. It's a really good video. Shortly after he announced, Rust developer Gary Newman wondered if Unity wants us to start paying them $200,000 a month before doing the math and realized that they will owe $410,000 total. He thought it was a monthly fee at first, but it's not great. While there isn't much, here's some stuff I don't like. Unity can just start charging us a tax per install. They can do this unilaterally. They can charge whatever they want. They can install tracking to our game. We're going to get to that in a second. We have to trust their tracking. We're going to get to that in a second. Now, the fee, it soon became clear that the fee will only applies to monetized titles. Axios' Stephen Totilo has been sharing clarification, and I've seen a couple of his tweets last night while I was trying to get my head around this. And Unity has included that charity games and bundles are excluded from the fees, which is good. But the clarifications are not great. For instance, developer Zavalier, I apologize if I get your name wrong, Nelson Jr. says, when a decision like this gets announced, and you're 3 years into your 5-year journey, you have little to no choice. You're stuck with a partner who may be actively working against your interest, and who you increasingly cannot trust. He went on. Totilo has also pointed this out. If a player deletes a game and reinstalls it, that's 2 installs, 2 charges. Same if they install on 2 devices. This means that the developers could be vulnerable to abuse from bad actors who repeatedly uninstall and reinstall their games. Unity says it would use fraud detection tools and allow developers to report possible instances of fraud to a compliance team. So if you're getting a massive bill, you have to wait on their customer support line, because that always works out well. Day 9 also talked about this, and I want to go into this a little more. If Day 9 had the great example, I buy a game, I put it on my PC, but I have a laptop that I take on trips, so I'm going to install it there too. And you know what? I have the Steam Deck, so I'm going to do it so I can be on the couch. Guess what? You only sold 1 copy, but you owe the fee 3 times. They say that is valid. Unity has said, no, that's valid. You owe the fee 3 times because they installed 3 times. Garbage, garbage, garbage. That is pathetic. Xavier Nelson, who is the head of Strange Scaffold, who've made games like El Paso Elsewhere, and An Airport for Aliens currently run by dogs, I want to try that out just because of the name, has expressed his concern about the situation. This is the danger of modern games and game development cycles becoming increasingly exponentially more complicated, lengthy, and prone to immense dependency. And then there's the quote that I just gave you. AgroCrab, which is another game studio, has today Unity, the engine we use to make our games, announced that they'll soon be taking a fee from developers for every copy of the game installed over a certain threshold, regardless of how that copy was obtained. Guess who has a somewhat highly anticipated game coming to Xbox Game Pass next year? That's right, it's us and a lot of other developers. This means another Crab's Treasure will be free to install for 25 million Game Pass subscribers. It is a fraction of those users. If a fraction of those users download our game, Unity could take a fee that puts an enormous dent in our income and threatens the sustainability of our business. Yeah, they're counting Game Passes. They're saying we deserve a fee for that. And that's before, and by the way, remember, we went up there. You have to pay for Unity tours. You're already paying these people. This is not they're not making any money, so they're having to. This is not business model has changed. This is how can we suck more money out of our partners because they deserve to pay us more money. It is corporate overreach, greed, pure and simple. And that's before we even think about sales on other platforms or pirate installs of our game or even multiple installs by the same user, which we just went. Yeah, if somebody steals your game, if you can't prove it, you owe the fee. And we went through the Day 9 awesome example as well. This decision puts us and countless other studios in a position where we might not be able to justify using Unity for our future titles. If these changes aren't rolled back, we'll be heavily considering abandoning our wealth of Unity expertise we've accumulated over the years and starting from scratch in a new engine, which is really something we'd rather not do. On behalf of the dev community, we're calling on Unity to reverse the latest in a string of short-sighted decisions that seem to prioritize shareholders over the product's actual units. They effing hate it here. I need a second. I needed a second because he's not wrong. This is a decision. The guy in charge of Unity right now is an ex-EA person who once speculated maybe we should charge people to reload in a Battlefield game. That is not a lie. You can go find that. He wanted to know if it was possible to monetize reloading in an FPS. So Tiana Pixel, who is the developer and co-founder of Studio Pixel Punk, awesome. These guys have such awesome names, which is behind the 2021 Metroidvania Unsighted, told Kotaku, there's a lot of things in Unity's statement that aren't clear and are very worrying. And she's not just talking about the installs, but the privacy portion of the installs. There are some certifications you need for having such service in your game and releasing it onto consoles and other platforms. You need an end user license agreement, EULA, because you'll be sending info from the player's device to an external server. So will indies be forced to add such DRMs to their games so they can track the installs? Unity doesn't make it clear. Forcing DRM on games has a long and bad history in gaming. Many tools we use for this are literally indistinguishable from malware. There's no benefit to the devs or the users. She also pointed out that small indie games like All Game Unsighted, which had the chance to appear on Xbox Game Pass, might be penalized for becoming popular there because we will be charged for every install. We're also looking at comments from Brandon Sheffield, who is the director at Necrosoft Games, warned game developers off the engine in his op-ed for insert credit. But now I can say unequivocally, if you're starting a new game project, do not use Unity. If you started a project 4 months ago, it's worth switching to something else. Unity is, quite simply, not a company to be trusted. And it ends by saying it's digging its own grave in search of the gold. Now, this isn't even the worst part, because game developer John Drazy pointed out that shortly after the blog post went up, Unity eliminated the Unity Plus subscriptions, and the company was automatically switching you to its Pro next month. And he showed an image which is $3,300 a year more expensive. Don't have auto-renew on your account if you can't afford the price. And this is with just 2 people on my team with Project Access. So yeah, it's a massive money grab, guys. I can't express this. There is no benefit to anybody but the shareholders and the pockets of Unity. It's also unclear how the change in subscription options is going to translate to the runtime fee, because the thresholds are different for every sub. When asked for clarification, the spokesman for Unity said, Unity Plus is being retired for new subscribers effective today, September 12th, to simplify the number of plans we offer. No, it's not. You want more money. Existing subscribers do not need to take immediate action and will receive an email mid-October with an offer to upgrade to Unity Pro for 1 year at the current Unity Plus price. Screw you. Now, again, this is not the first thing that they've made. There's a reason why developers are so up in arms. This past June, the company announced 2 new machine learning platforms to integrate Unity Muse, which is just GPT for Unity, and Unity Centis, which enables you to embed an AI model in the Unity runtime for your game application, enhancing gameplay and other functionality. But as a former Kotaku writer pointed out at the time of the announcement, AI technology relies heavily on the work stolen from artists without consents or compensations, would make Centis raise eyebrow. In other words, they want game developers to teach it so they can then sell it. And as Russ Newman has already shared, it seems these changes are having a negative impact on the company at large. Their market share had tanked. So let's see if Unity sticks with these changes or makes adjustments. Now, they did try to respond yesterday at about 6:38 Eastern Time. The official Unity X, which is Twitter now because that's a thing, shared a post that Unity plan pricing and packaging updates. The post had FAQs that cropped up shortly after the announcement of the runtime fee, many of which were focused on installations. As many devs worried, under the new policy, multiple reinstalls or re-downloads of the game will have to be paid for by creators. And the definition of install is also if you upgrade or change your hardware. So if I get a new computer and I want to play a game again, they have to pay again. Any early access, beta, or demo of the full game also induces this charge, and can even be streamed or web-based games. They're also not revealing how they count it. We leverage our own proprietary data model, so you can appreciate that we won't go into a lot of detail, but we believe it gives an accurate determination of the number of times the runtime is distributed for a given project. In other words, you have no proof if they're wrong and overcharging you. The FAQ does not clarify how it will ensure count of installations or bundled games with this software. It could be a terrible DRM that makes your game crash. You don't know. Ash Paris has said, so Unity has managed to invent a new, extremely hellish way for chuds to register their displeasure with a game. Dares to add a woman or person of color to a game, revenue bombing. Now, she is not wrong. As she quoted, if certain groups are angered by, say, a queer character in a game or a black woman lead, both of which have, make the internet go up, then they could repeatedly install and game over and over again to rack up the fees. Now, another developer is pushing this as well. This is not political, by the way. This is both ways. If you think, oh, well, who cares about that? Which, first of all, you should care about people. But second of all, this cuts both ways. Maybe you have just like a really pro-religious game. Maybe you have a game about a Christian hero or a Muslim hero. Well, there's going to be some people who don't like those things, and you've made it possible to revenue bomb you. This isn't just, oh no, this ultra liberal. Ash is pointing out a really good point in just using it as an example. Don't think that this doesn't affect everyone. Revenue bombing can now be a thing. You can literally bankrupt a company, and it's not cool. Going back to Nelson, they confirmed with Kotaku yesterday that concrete talks are happening among some of the most significant developers in the space regarding a class action lawsuit against Unity. Now, of course, Unity realized that everyone realized it was a massive money grab, and that's not good. So they regrouped yesterday to discuss the terms of the runtime fees, despite initially confirming that the fee would apply multiple times. If a player deletes a game and reinstalls it, Unity is now saying they will only charge for the initial. So, is that true? Because we just verified that you're using your own possibly DRM-based malware to verify that, and if I can't prove you wrong, I owe you the fee. Unity executive Mark Whitten hoped would allay fears of install bombing, a concern which the devs have already expressed. The company is also reassuring Access that games offered for charity or included in charities will be exempt from the fees, as some of this is re-saying stuff because there's been multiple updates to this article, as we'll see down here. And that in regards to Xbox Game Pass, developers like AgroCrab will not be on the hook as the fees are charged to distributors, which means that, that's not good. So you're not charging the developer, now you're just charging Microsoft because you think Microsoft's just going to hand you money. Microsoft ain't handing you garbage, man. And they're trying to say, well, this is only going to affect 10% of the developers with the flesh. It doesn't matter, because guess what? If we let you get away with the 10%, they're going to find a way to apply this to 100%. It doesn't matter if it's a fraction of a penny. It's not your penny. Now, here are the updates at 7:35, updates include information from the Unity forum post, reactions, and confirmations of the lawsuit. And here we have updated to include information Unity shared after it regrouped. So 161 comments. I don't usually go into comments, but I think they'll be fun. At this point, no reasonable CTO game developer will choose Unity. Even if they roll this change back, the damage is done. Yeah, you can't trust Unity. The risk is too high to start a new project that would take years to complete for Unity to suddenly do a rug pull. Yeah. There's no reasonable way to predict how much this could cost the dev and could easily outrun their profit over time. Smart thing would be for them to say this policy will only go into effect after January 1st. But no, this user's not wrong. But remember, some people on January 1st will be in year 3 of a 5-year development cycle. That still is punishing them. What's generally shocking is Unity believes that they can apparently completely, unilaterally make absolutely vast changes to their rules without consultation, real warning, and severely to the detriment of the people using their product. Even if they get you to sign something saying that, that's not exactly ironclad. It may not have legal weight at all in many jurisdictions, particularly in the EU. It probably would not fly in American courts either, including that charity games and bundles. Unity has literally no idea if a game was for charity or if it was sold in a bundle. Blind profit's not wrong. How in the hell are they supposed to track that? unless that DRM is very invasive. They're just going to push indies to use Unreal 5, which is already very fair, reasonable for small indies. This change will make Unreal 5 all the more appealing and will result in Unity having committed suicide. As a dev myself, this was my first thought. A lot of people about to switch to... Guys, I could go on. There's 161 comments, but here's my opinion. Again, as I let you know at the beginning of this game, Unity is currently run by an ex-EA guy who loves monetization of every single thing. This is not helping anything but Unity's share price and stockholders, which, by the way, that's already tanking. In fact, 1 second. All right, we're on CNBC now. Unity. Oh, would you look at that? Today alone, 5% drop. So here's yesterday. Yesterday is when they announced, and initially, shareholders loved it and went up over $1. Why? Because more revenue is always... The initial reaction is more revenue. That's when everybody who uses Unity complained, and that's when shareholders realized, oh, this might not be good. So it tanks all the way down to where you've actually lost $1. And then it tried to climb back up, because probably Unity was telling the big investors and shareholders and letting people know, hey, guys, it's okay. We're going to talk it out. Everything's going to be fine. And then today, when the QAs and everything didn't work, when everything went down, off the cliff. And it's trying to... There's always going to be people who are going to try to, buy it, but I would not expect that to help long term, guys. It's just not. Guys, this is a cash grab. This is garbage. This is pathetic. This is stupid. I try to be happy and polite, but this is just dumb. There's absolutely no justification or verification for this fee, except that Unity wants more money. They're looking at Game Pass, and they're looking at all the different ways people can... And they're like, you know what? We deserve that money. They're already getting paid. Earlier in the article, remember, for just 2 people on a small dev team to have access to Unity, just 2 people, their fees were going to go up $3,300 a year. It does not matter if the fee prior to that $3,300 increase was $1 for those 2 devs. That is still $3,300 more for access to it for 2 devs. If you're a medium or a large dev and you're using Unity, you could have 100 people. You could have 50 times. My God, that's like hundreds of thousands of dollars more just to use the tools you're already using, which is not counting the hundreds of thousands of dollars more that you now owe on the back end when you sell and install your game. They won't tell you how they're going to verify charity bundles. They won't tell you how they're going to verify installs. They have no way to help you. You can claim that you can show pictures of Reddit and Twitter where people are, I don't like X political reason for this game, so we're going to just buy it, and then we're going to uninstall, reinstall until they go bankrupt. But you can't prove that that's what's happening. They won't tell you how they're using it. They won't tell you if you have to have malware now on all of your games. Indie games don't like malware. If they did, they would go work for a big company that did. This is dumb, stupid, ignorant, pathetic, any other adjective I can think of. And the cow's opinion is right here. Unity is not to be trusted anymore. Because even if they roll all this back, they've proven, the current leadership has proven, the CEO of Unity has proven that I'll pull the rug out from under you any way I can. It's time to go to Unreal 5. It's time to make your own engine. It's time to get back into LinkedIn and get some independent develop. You're already an independent small-time developer. Get an independent small-time game engine developer and push that. If it works, guys, let me know in the comments what you think. I don't think any of you will actually try and defend this, because this isn't like when Ford makes the F-150 pickup and they say, hey guys, we got the new model coming out next year, but it's going to cost $3,500 more because there's been safety updates and we've improved it, and some materials went up and some labor went up, and nothing went up on Unity's side. They're not making anything better. There's no improvements. In fact, they're getting rid of their smallest annual bundle to use their tools. This is a cash grab. And it's fallen another 0.05% the amount of time that I clicked on this. It's going down, guys. I would never say short a stock because I think shorting a stock is really too risky, but my God. Let me know what you think below. And play more games. Games are awesome when Unity's not ruining them, and you deserve awesome. I'll see you next time.